Yo, what's happening, world? I want to welcome everybody to a brand new show. It's the guy Dre. I got the homie, the guy Shawn on the line. What's happening with you, Shawn?
What it do, my dude?
Ain't much going on around here. So everybody already know that Shawn and I, we are huge hip hop fans. So if you don't know about the origins of the guys, I'm gonna give you a real quick synopsis. It started years ago, talking to a couple guys, said we should do this, and we just never did it. Well, thanks to the pandemic, it gave us a chance to be able to do what we needed to do to get things started. And the first thing that started it off was a text message to Shawn. Hey man, we should do Outkast versus Mobb Deep. And I promise you, this is no exaggeration. I don't think 15 seconds went by and I had a reply saying, let's do it. And so with the natural position and the natural projection and trajectory of the guys podcast, we kind of almost lost sight of the hip hop piece of the pod. So in a different endeavor, what Shawn and I decided to do is we're going to step off. We're going to continue with the guys, but we're going to step off to the side and we're going to do our own Ghostface of Raekwon of Wu-Tang type deal. And we're going to do the hip hop corner. So you are now tuned in to the very first episode of the hip hop corner. So Shawn, tell the folks what we got on store for them tonight, man.
So we want to kick this thing off and pay a lot of homage to the women of rap. A lot of times, I think female rappers don't get the shine that they should be getting. Sometimes they get overlooked because of this dominant sport of hip hop, braggadocious style of hip hop. A lot of times, these ladies of hip hop, they normally get overlooked in those type of situations. So we want to bring that to the forefront. And we want to talk about our personal top 10 female rappers. We want to give an idea as to why we selected them at a particular rank. And we're going to go back and forth on what that looks like for us. But before we get started, I want to give a shout out to the other guys. I want to give a shout out to Merv, give a shout out to Stacks, give a shout out to Mark. Merv and Stacks got a show coming on tomorrow night. It's going to be the Merv and Stacks show. Then we're doing a recap of the Power episode, Power Book 2, Ghost. They're going to be giving a recap tomorrow on that, featuring Mark. So be looking forward to that as well. Again, the guys as a brand, as a podcast, we all come together at Wu-Tang on Wednesday nights. But during the week, we're going to have different silos going out there just to make sure we continue to feed those who are supporting us and those who are watching us as well.
Facts. And also remember, all of this can be caught on our Facebook page, the guys. It could be caught on the YouTube page, the guys. And as always, you can see us in heavy rotation on Zingo TV, channel 199. That includes these episodes that are subsidiary of the guys, to include the Merv and Stack show as well. So just be checking us out, man. We trying to corner the market around here, and we finna get started into this hip hop piece. So the first thing I want to do, Shawn, I want to ask you, before we get into what we view as our top 10, I want you to tell me what is the current state of women rappers in hip hop in your mind?
I think it's different now, man. I think that with Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, I think they recreated a lane that has been, I think, created by like the Lil Kim and somewhat Foxy back in the early 90s.
All right, go ahead. I don't know. You had went out for a second. But...
Can you hear me now? You good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, I was saying, I think with Cardi B, the way she was able to carve a lane for herself, pretty much basically where she came from into where she's at now. She's like a mega star right now. And it came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So I think the female hip hop community is healthy right now. I think you have some good artists out there like Rhapsody, who brings you the lyrics, brings you that grit, that old soul, kind of reminds you of like a Bahamadia, back in the day. And then you got Meg Thee Stallion, who's also really, Meg is lyrical. Don't get lost in that WAP stuff. Meg can actually spit. Then you got Nicki. I mean, right now she's taking a little break right now because of, I think she's pregnant, about to have a baby. So, you look at that and you look at just the landscape within itself. I think the female hip hop community is healthy right now.
I'd agree with that assessment. Hey, what's up, Scott? Appreciate you tuning in as always. I agree with that assessment. I think that we get lost in when it comes to female rappers, we get lost in what we think and want them to be. And so, like we said a couple weeks ago, listen, I'm all for those ladies talking and shit. And then I'm also for listening to somebody like Rhapsody who really gonna tell you some real shit. I'm also for someone like 3D Nati who's gonna really get on the beat and destroy that shit. And she's gonna talk sexy at the same time. Like she's gonna actually play both ways. So the current state of women in hip hop is there. You just gotta go find it. You know, it's no different than the male dominant lane. You have to go find what's gonna make you happy as a fan of hip hop music.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, but we're gonna go ahead and get into the listen. So this top 10 list is I challenge people to make a top 10 female list because I know the first thing they say is, well, it's not that many. Shit, bro. Like this was a lot tougher than I thought it would be to come up with the 10 that I wanted in the position. So at any rate, I'm gonna let you go ahead and you kick it off with number 10. Who you got?
So my number 10 was Lil' Kim. All right. I struggle with this list, man. Overall, I struggle with this list. And once we get to number 1, I think it'll all come full circle as to why I'm picking everyone in certain order. But Lil' Kim was my number 10. Here's why. That hardcore album was dope. I'm not gonna front. I love that hardcore album. Came out in like 96. It came out during the time when Bad Boy had everything on lock. You can tell Biggie influenced that album. You can just tell by Biggie's pen how he had Lil' Kim just speaking that raw stuff. And I think that was the first time. Matter of fact, that was the first time a female artist was talking that raunchy on an album. And it was ridiculous from the beginning, from the skits to the intro to the outro. It was just raw, nasty, gritty, so Brooklyn. I think that Lil' Kim's delivery is what shine a lot because you can tell people get ghostwriter, not just for female rappers, but any rapper get a ghostwriter. Puffy was one that got ghostwriter. They got a whole staff of ghostwriters. But the delivery is what really brings it home. And I think Lil' Kim's attitude in that album and just her delivery, it was monster. I think it created a different wave of females talking that shit, like you always say. And I think she's like one of the four mothers, you know, in that regard when it comes down to being able to say they created this lane of just women talking that shit. So number 10 was Lil' Kim for me.
I got you. Kim owned that album. Like you said, the delivery, she owned that. So even though she didn't write those lyrics, listen, the way she came across, like she definitely wrote them lyrics, and you're gonna respect what she had to say. So that's why I think hardcore was so difficult to ignore because she really owned that album.
Absolutely.
My number 10, I'm gonna go a different route. Everybody knows me, I'm all about lyrics and the grittiness. I'm gonna go with Rod Digger. Rod Digger is tough. She didn't get the love that she probably deserved, and I think that's just a part of coming up in a crew where there was only one guy who was really shining. Yeah. That being with Flip Mode and Busta. I think Rampage was there at best, and he never really put anything together. So I think Rob, she really was dope, and she got lost. And sad to say, with your point with Kim talking that shit and creating a different lane, Rod Digger wasn't in that lane, and that's what kept her from really getting that shine. But if you want to talk about a lyricist or who should have maybe had the album titled Hardcore, it would definitely be Rod Digger. So I have Rod Digger at number 10.
I can see that. That Dirty Harry album was dope.
Facts.
She was killing that Dirty Harry album.
Facts.
That was one of my favorite albums, matter of fact. So, and in some respect, she outshined Busta in those collabos that they had.
Whew.
Lyrically, not
no, I got you. I'm definitely here with what you're saying. We have to get in that one another day.
Yeah. So you got Dirty Harry, I got Kim. So my number 9 was Foxy. Keeping it in Brooklyn, Foxy. I always felt that Kim and Foxy was interchangeable. I always felt that you can pick either or. It depends on your style, your taste. Foxy did not go as hardcore as Kim, but Foxy, she kind of tiptoed on that rough, rugged sound. I think
Yeah.
you could tell Foxy was influenced by MC Light because her flavor, her style was just like straight to your face. Although back then, Jay wrote a lot of Foxy stuff. Nas wrote a lot of Foxy stuff. I think her brother Galvin, he wrote some of her stuff as well. But she also had her own pen. So you got the combination of all of that, but her delivery and just her tone. Foxy had that deep tone in her rhymes. Like, what I mean? She was giving it up. And you got to think about it. Foxy was spitting on the side of Jay, on the side of Nas. I mean, she spit on the side of.
Let's not act like, not to cut you off, but let's not act like, AZ and Nature wasn't some real spitters at that time.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, for her to be able to spit alongside those guys at that time, I mean, you can't. And her first album was dope. I mean, she had joint on that. She had Method Man on the hook.
Not even spitting the verse.
Right. At the time, the Method was like the shit during that time.
Yeah.
And that first album, man, to me was dope. I mean, she killed that first album. So I got her a little bit ahead of Kim because I think her first album in comparison to hardcore, I like Foxy album better. And I think that Foxy discography was a little bit better than Kim's discography as well.
All right. I can see that. So here come the part where some people might scratch their head, get a little pissed off with my next pick. Number 9, I'm gonna go All Hail to the Queen. So All Hail to the Queen at number 9. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, yo, that is low for her. And I get it. But when you break down her message, in my mind, when you break down her message, she is top notch. But when you actually break down the lyrics, the schematics of it, the cadence of it, it's kind of like, But because of who she is and what she has done for the game and how she moved women forward with her message, that's why I got her at number 9. So that's what I got for her. And then Sky. So I do have a proposal. So Sky talking this shit. Sky, I want you to join in, Sky, because I know you from up top, and this is going to be a lot of up top heavy because that's just where most female MCs stem from. So what I want you to do, Sky, send me a Facebook request, and I'm going to send you the link. And if you want to join in and talk your shit with us, come on and join in. So, yeah, at number 9, I got Queen Latifah. When you listen to songs like UNITY, Who You Calling the Bitch, things of that nature, she really showed y'all that women don't have to go a certain route in order to be successful. And that's what, that's what she did. So I'm with it.
I respect that. Got a number 9. Okay. So my number 8, I have Eve. I have EVE. And again, I struggle. As we get to number 1, I'm gonna tell you how all this came into play, because I feel that Eve was able to spit from a different angle than Foxy and Kim. And I gave her major points for having her own pen, right? I think that first album that she dropped, I think the album was dope. We did a re-review of that album a couple of weeks ago. We talked about the album in details. I'm not going to go into details here. But I think that Eve really was able to dominate at a time where she was surrounded by a bunch of dudes. I mean, you got X on the roster, you got Drag On, you got the Locks. I mean, you got a lot of heavy hitters in one room, and she had to stand toe-to-toe with them. That's rare. That's especially coming from her background, where she was kind of stuck in limbo at one point, where Dre wanted her at one point. Aftermath wasn't really popping at that time, so she really couldn't get on. But Rough Riders came, gave her an identity. She found her niche, and she was killing it. And I didn't think that her discography got better over time. I think she had some misses here and there. I think she kind of got to the point where she didn't really need it. She had that big hit where Dre got that Grammy and everything. I think she was like, I'm good. I'm done with it. But I still overall think that Eve was able to bring. I think she was more well-rounded than Kim and than Foxy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got a question, and I don't want to throw nobody off with it, but here's something that I noticed with your list so far. All right, all these women are part of a crew, and each time you go down, the actual crew is actually better. Is that something that you noticed, or is that something that just kind of like happened as you was creating your list?
It's something I noticed. It was part of my criteria. It's because I felt like, again, as we started.
So I'm asking questions that we supposed to be talking about after one. My bad.
You're gonna see how it's all unfolding.
All right, so we're gonna leave it alone.
Yeah.
So my number 8, somebody you already stated, is Lil' Kim. Lil' Kim to me is, like I said, I think because she had a ghostwriter, it doesn't pop to a lot of people. But when you talk about Kim, like I said earlier, Kim owns all the fucking lyrics that she spit. So when you own those lyrics, you will forget that Big was one writing those lyrics. Or like even the joint with her and Jay, like that's JP, but you can't tell that that's JP just because of how she comes through with her delivery. And then even afterwards, she was able to have a minute, I ain't gonna say minute, she was able to have some success still afterwards, with a lot of people even saying that her best album is the one that Big was not on. His pen wasn't around, the La Bella Mafia.
Yeah.
So when you listen to things like that and see that she was still able to have a cultural effect, even though she talked that shit. Like I remember a couple years ago when Puffy was doing the Bad Boy tour, I think it was the same year that you was at One Music Fest. Listen, man, they had the Bad Boy tour down there, and I went, and the energy that she gives a woman when she steps on the stage is probably different than any other woman that's going to show up on this list.
Absolutely.
So that's what I got. I got Kim at number 8 for those reasons.
Okay. My number 7, I got Nicki. I got Nicki Minaj at number 7. And again, as you can start seeing, you start going to chain. I think Nicki's a spitter. People sleep on the fact that, I think they slept on the fact that Nicki got kind of popish a little bit. The barbs and everything, all that could start coming into the fold. But if you listen to Nicki's first album, Nicki was killing it. Now, maybe that Safari pen was just that nice, but I mean,
saying Safari left, things went down a little bit. I'm just saying.
Right. So maybe Safari was just just that nice. The chemistry was just that great. But I think that you cannot hate on her delivery. If you can see where I'm going here, Nicki's delivery created some waves that dudes start following. You know what I mean? And when her voice would go up and go down, and she would make the funny faces or make a lot of different gestures in her rhyme, kind of semi-animate like a Busta Rhymes. I just think that Nicki brought something different, man. Like at a time where I think hip hop needed another female voice in a different lane, I thought she brought it, man. Now, again, I'm basing this off of her body of work and not most recent work, like a combination of work, not things that we're hearing now. I think she kind of got a little corny after Safari left. You start seeing a different change in her music. She did the Anaconda joint, which is garbage. But like you should never mix a lot anything ever. I don't care who you are, male or female. But she's not my number 7, man.
Hey man, I don't know what's going on right now, but you get killed in the comments. I don't know if that's because they feel like you got Nicki too high or too low. I don't know what that is.
I think Queens get the money.
Queens get the money. Yeah, I think that's what it really is. Like it's the fact that she from Queens. But my number 7, I'm gonna go with Foxy. I'm gonna go with Foxy for all the reasons that you've already stated. But I'm gonna also go with Foxy because I think personally her pen is stronger than everyone else that I've mentioned so far. Listen, when you listen to a song like her verse in Bang Bang, like listen, the way that she goes at Kim and Diddy, like that's the shit that I like. You know, I like them lyrics. I don't want to hear about, you know, how much you can do on your knees or whatever the case may be. So I gotta go with Foxy for all those reasons, and then how gangster and hard she came in, and when it was all said and done, and she really had to show and prove, and she showed and proved against two top. Well, I ain't gonna say two. I'm gonna say 1.5 top tier lyricists at that time. Like, you know, CNN is not a punk. You know,
Yeah.
the War Report is regarded as a classic everywhere. So
Left,
when
right.
you get beside them two and you're spitting like that and you are outshining them, you
Yeah.
definitely deserve some credit.
Left Rack City, Iraq.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Man, I'm probably gonna get a lot of jabs on this one, man. But my number 6, and I played with this one so much, man. My number 6 could have easily be my number 3, and I kept going back and forth, back and forth. My number 6 is MC Light, and I struggled with this one, man. I'm still struggling with it. When you sent me the message today, he was like, "Yo, come up with the top 10," and I'm like, "Damn, I need more time to think about it." And I kept going back and forth, and up until the show, I wanted to change MC Light to bring her up more my top 5, maybe 4. But for right now, I rap with number 6. And here's the thing about MC Light. MC Light was a spitter. MC Light was someone that I think dudes were afraid to hop on an album with because she was bringing that rawness on every joint. When she dropped 10% disc and that beat came on, I remember I was like 7, I think, 6 or 7. I was like, yo, I had the boom box. I got a picture. I had the boom box with a red, blue, and white shirt.
Stop, man. Everything ain't supposed to be shared with the public, man. Now, so if you share that, you got to put the picture out.
Yo, I had the Sassoon jeans with the Kango K. And, man, bumping 10% disc. To me, that was her best joint, and she was killing it, man. You got Tupac who actually sampled a portion of that song. You know what I mean? So that tells you how great MC Light was, and it still is, still a queen. So with reservation, she's my number 6.
All right, so my number 6, I feel like you already stealing all my thunder because I actually got the list right, and I got people higher and where they should be placed at. So my number 6 is already someone that you talked about. Is Eve. Listen, Eve is a monster that came into the game at a time where X was really running the game, and she stood toe to toe with X. Then also you take in the fact that at that time, that's when the Locks was popping. They was moving the off from Bad Boy, and they was getting Rough Riders going. And if you look at both of those compilation albums, Eve really shined. Eve had the lead single, and then on the Posse Cuts, she really shined. Her pen is immaculate. She didn't have anyone there to write for her. Now she did have the help of what's his name, Sleazy J. You know what I'm saying? She had the help of Sleazy J or whatever, but
talented brother.
Yeah, he's but he didn't write for her. No. And so he gave her the position of maybe you should do this and maybe you should pull this here or whatever. But his pen was not around. Jada's pen wasn't around. X pen, nobody had a pen but her. And so that's when we start talking about real lyricists, especially when you come in the game. And we ain't talking about what you're doing. We just talking about the illest pit bull in the skirt. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I got Eve at number 6, man.
And she was going toe to toe. She wasn't even getting smoked by these guys in these Posse Cuts. She been holding her own. So I can definitely see her there. So my number 5, starting to get into my top 5. My number 5 is Salt and Pepper. Salt and Pepper is my number 5, man. I think with Salt and Pepper, I remember people back then was like, yo, Salt and Pepper is like the female Run DMC at one point, just because of what they were delivering. Like Salt and Pepper was different, man. Going back and forth, tag teaming it. And during that time, there were so many other artists, so many other rap groups that weren't hitting it, male and female. But Salt and Pepper was able to find a lane where you got a DJ and 2 MCs. And I don't think had no old school, like just that's all you need. A DJ, two MCs. And I thought that the way they were able to like really, really bridge the gap during that time, it's just being a good tandem and having respect for the rhyme itself and just the rap itself. I got in my top 5, man.
I'm okay with that.
They just
I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't have them there, but I'm definitely okay with that. They would have been an honorable mention for me if we did an honorable mention.
Yeah.
But the way that they came and they came in a time where it was a lot of gimmick rappers as far as female rappers, because you had like JJ Fad,
JJ Fad.
Yeah. So I'm okay with that.
Remember MC Hammer group?
Yeah, 757 or something like that. 357. Yeah.
Like that. I bet that was Tasia Best group. She was like a 757.
Man, Tasia don't even know what the heck you talking about right now. Hey, so my number 5, I'm gonna go with a lot considered to be the queen, Miss Lauryn Hill. That's why I got at number 5. Lauryn Hill, to me, she's definitely a spitter. I just couldn't get her any higher, in my opinion, just because of the body of work that she has. To me, the only hip hop that she has is the Fugees, the score. However, she bodied the score. She's definitely the one that shined in the score. I think that's all she really has when it comes to hip hop and her penmanship. Listen, everyone knows the Miseducation is a classic album, but in my view, it's not a hip hop album. I think she had like 2 hip hop cuts on there, and so that's why she's where she's at. If she would have gave me a little bit more, I could very well say she probably would have been number 1. So in my number 5, I got Miss Lauryn Hill.
Okay, I want you to pause that. I'm gonna come back to that real quick because I'm almost there as well. My number 4 is Queen Latifah. And the reason why I said that Queen Latifah is at number 4, Queen Latifah had like this presence, man. Like she was like, to me, like a dominant female rapper during that time. It was almost to the point where she walked in the room, like they had to pay homage. And you go back and listen to All Hail the Queen. That joint came out, I think, in '89. That album was incredible. Just the content of that album for her. And again, you're talking about a time where hip hop was on that bubble because no one really knew where they wanted to go during that time. As far as like, you had that street stuff, you had Public Enemy out there, you had Rod, you had Kane, you had so many prominent artists during that time. And Queen came out with All Hail the Queen, and then she came back out with I think Nature of Sister, and then she had I want to say Black Rain came after that, her 3rd album. And she was getting better lyrically every step of the way, but she also sprinkled in that content. I think Queen Latifah is the first phase of Rhapsody, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
And because she spit with so much power, it wasn't even about the punchlines or the lyrics or anything like that, because I mean, she had to get in someone's ass. She got in the ass. She got in Roxanne Shante ass. We'll get into that later on. But I think the way she just carried herself and her delivery was overwhelming, man. So definitely she's my number 4.
All right, I got you. My number 4. Listen, man, this is like there could be an argument that she could be number 1. If you want to talk about a fucking spitter, my number 4 is a spitter. Remy Ma is a fucking spitter. Like the things that Remy say and actually do and back up, like that shit. Like, listen, man, to stand beside Big Pun and spit your shit and be good at it while you spitting your shit next to Big Pun, like that's some real shit. You know, like Joe got good for a little minute and he did all right. And what the first thing they said when he did it, they was like, hey, he must have found Pun Rhyme book. Like he even admitted, like that's what motherfucker was saying. But no one ever had that doubt about Remy. Remy's just always been, she's just always been that shit with that microphone. And she talk her shit and then she does it, but she does it in a way like it's like a New York way. Like I don't really fuck with y'all New Yorkers like that, but she does it in a way like I know I'm the shit.
Yeah.
You're gonna respect me as the shit. And then when I finish this, you're gonna say my shit like you want to be the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just who Remy is. And then she's in a marriage where she will body the rapper that she's married to. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man. Listen, she will body Papoose, man. Like
Pap is a joke, man.
Nah, yeah, Pap is really a joke.
Pap. That's an interesting one. I hold Remy Ma in a high regard, so I'm gonna pause on that one as well. My number 3 is Lauren. Man. I think that, man, Lauren was different. When I first heard Lauren, it was on Blunted on Reality in '94. That was the first Fuji album. And Lauren was different, Drake. Even on the score, out of Wyclef and Pras, which doesn't take much in my opinion, she outshined them on every cut.
Yeah, she did.
Easily. And when she was rapping, it was effortless, man. Lauren was so effortless when she was spitting. Don't forget, during that time, before even she had the Miseducation album, she was still hopping on other posse cuts. And she was also doing like just, remixes and things of that nature, features here and there. And she bodied every single thing. I always felt that Lauren was like a female version of Andre 3000, if that makes any sense.
No, I'm with you.
I felt that she was always a female version of Dax, only because I think she was ahead of her time. You go back and listen to the Fugees, the Score album in '96. That album, to me, you can still play the album today and play Lauren verses, and it still sounds like it is fresh, it is not outdated, it is crisp. She took her time when she wrote every line in her raps. And I've always felt that Lauren was like just a difference. She was just a difference, man. I mean, the Miseducation just showed you how talented she was. Because like you mentioned, it doesn't feel like a hip-hop album, but does it really feel like a legit R&B album? Because I don't think it really has an R&B vibe to it. I think it's just really good music. If you go back and listen to like The Love Below is not really a R&B album. And it's not really a hip-hop album. It's just a music. It's like a musical album. It's like an opus. And I think that's how Miseducation was to me. It wasn't like a hip-hop album. And I think that's when people got a little bit blurred as to if she's a rapper, she's a singer. She's just talented as fuck at both. She has a combination of both, which makes her, in my opinion, top 3 female of all time.
I agree with your assessment as far as her and Stacks. And I think that here's the thing. So everyone knows I call Stacks, I call him the GOAT, but I can call him the GOAT because in some manner, it was almost like he was forced to put out so many verses. You know what I mean? And whereas when she lost the love for rapping, it was just gone. And only thing we really had from her is the score. And so that's the difference between her and Stacks. That's like right now, listen, man, I don't think you can offer Stacks $2 million to do a 16. You know what I'm saying? It's just not gonna happen. He's just not in that place. He actually said he hates performing anything that's from Outkast. And it's like, but yo, that's why we love you. And it's the same with Lauryn Hill.
Right. And that's what Lauren, yeah, I think she got bored with it, man. I mean, because I think Tasia just said she's an artist, and that's legit. She's an actual artist. She's someone who she does it all. To me, she hold a package. If she has to get into a bag and give you 16 bars, she'll kill it. No one to touch her. You get in the booth with her, she'll kill it. But she can also go in that same booth and sing her ass off and still give you what you need. She's an artist, complete artist.
All right, so my number 3. Somebody that's very near dear to your heart. Listen, number 3, Roxanne Shante. I could have easily put her at number 1. Listen, the way Roxanne gets in your ass, it's something diabolical. Like she is really the truth. She is surgical. When you listen to shit like Big Mama, Like that's the real Big Mama. You know what I'm saying? Not that little Kim joint, but you listen to the Big Mama and the way she got in Latifah's ass, Moni Love's ass. She went at Yo-Yo. She went at MC Light. Like she went at some heavy spitters, and in my opinion, she came out on top. Then let's go back to the Roxanne wars. You know, started with UTFO. Like even though it like a true battler, she just came out of nowhere for no reason. You know, they wasn't talking about her, but she still came in there and she ate their ass up. Roxanne Shante is a battler, but she was a battler that could actually put it on wax and make it sound good and go with that beat. And so Roxanne, she is definitely number 3 to me. The way that she came into the game and the way that she changed the game, you know, she's responsible for females being able to talk that shit. Yeah. You know, females, that you don't have to be cookie cutter. You know, you can say, hey, I'll fuck you up, you know. And she was doing this at the age of 14 on the stoop of a Queensbridge high rise or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So like Roxanne Shante is just, this time we're gonna get the money with Queens. I'm with you on that. But Roxanne is just something different, man. And to be in a crew that's full of legends, you know what I'm saying? Like she's spitting next to MC Shane. She's spitting next to Big Daddy Kane. And she's not just spitting next to them, like she's on par with these guys. Right. And then you were doing your job so well that at the time, a lot consider him to be the greatest. You have Chris, KRS-One, actually having to come in and save the crew and take shots at you because of the damage that you're doing. Right. So all of that is just homage to her, man.
What did Chris say? No, don't mention that. Nah,
we're not gonna say that. We're not gonna say that Chris line. I think even that's a line that he regrets saying. You know what I'm saying?
He doesn't regret it, man. He would do it again if he had to, man. Chris was crazy, man. Yeah, hold that thought. We're gonna come back to that one as well because we talked offline about that one. So I want to dive into that a little bit more also. My number 2 is Remy. Man. I think that Remy, in my opinion, is the most lyrical female rapper that ever touched the mic, pound for pound. To your point, you mentioned earlier, for her to be able to go toe-to-toe with Big Pun, who, in my opinion, is like, doesn't get the respect at all that he should. God bless the dead. But Pun was a lyrical genius, man. Pun was lyrically, Pun is in top 5. Lyrically, Pun is top 5. I'm not saying greatest of all time overall. I'm saying lyrically, Pun might be top 5.
I think you just created another show. We might have to dive into that.
Yo, the way Pun body Black Thought on that joint.
That's what we do. We throwing shots, that nigga. We throwing shots.
Yo, and Pun body everybody on that John Blaze joint. When he came on, he was like, I put my crew Puff Live. Anyone test the Pun must die. Give me one try. You don't mess up. I mean, yo, Pun was killing everybody on everything he got on. And for her to go toe-to-toe with Pun, she was like the female Pun. And you go back and listen to Remy's albums and just listen to, I think the direction on some of the albums could have been better. I think that Fat Joe was trying to figure things out with her as well. But if you go back and listen to the way she spit on those albums, even on the Terror Squad album, she was the shining star on all of those songs. And the way she spit that Sheetha on Nicki, that was ridiculous. I mean, even her battles. She was, Lady Luck, she said, if you can make weight, your fat ass can make. Yo.
So I think, one, you just brought up another honorable mention. Like I had her and Ra at number 10, Lady Luck. And of course, being a big Redman fan, everyone can see why I would have Lady Luck there.
Yeah, of course.
I went with Ra. But Remy, I think Remy is a product of, we're trying to make you sell.
Right.
And that's why Remy lost when, because Tasia said it earlier. She was like, she didn't have an album to pop. She actually had albums to pop. It's just that they didn't pop in the store. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So that's what she fell victim to, in my opinion. She just fell victim to, she had Fat Joe, and she would pop on those things. Listen, let's not forget, Remy stood toe to toe with everybody on Simon Says. Get the fuck up, like
yo,
Remy is a force to be reckoned with.
Don't get it twisted. When I was in Japan and they played Annie Up, and her verse came on, man, like Remy, if you wanna understand what a female from New York sound like, that's Remy.
All facts.
All day long. That's
she embodies all the boroughs.
Yeah, he's like just nothing. And if you listen to her, Taylor said, "Please name a Remy album." Something about Remy, her first album. The thing about with Remy, she went to jail. She went to do a bid in the midst of her starting to really pick up steam.
Yeah,
that killed her momentum, because that's something about Remy came out around the same time she was going through that trial, and that album was a dope album. It's just that it didn't get the push because, again, she ended up going to jail. So I got Remy number 2 just because of the fact that I think her trajectory was ridiculous. And I think pound for pound, bar for bar, she's one of the best. And she can make good songs. Go listen to Lean Back. So what you got next, man? What's your number 3?
Whew. This is number 2, guy.
That's our number 2.
Hey, so my number 2, I'm gonna go with someone that you said earlier. I'm going with MC Lyte. MC Lyte is just like another one. It's tough when you when you get down to those final 3 or 4, maybe. But MC Lyte is another one that I definitely could have had number 1. My number 1 is there for a reason. But Lyte, listen, man, like you said earlier, 10% this, or cha cha cha, or Light as a rock. Like, you can just go on and on with her. And she's one of the few female artists where the producers actually used her voice. And that's what I really love about MC Lyte. Her voice was used in the correct manner. And so like we talked last week or a couple weeks ago, we talked about how Eve, her voice wasn't used. Her voice should be used as an instrument because she's light, like MC Lyte. She's light, and you got to use that. But Sweezy's production overrode all that. So, but MC Lyte, man, like the shit that she was saying and, just the way she delivered it made her great. And what it also did is it made people like Remy spit the way that they spit. You know what I'm saying? Only thing happened was Remy just went a step further and was really going to give you that business. But MC Lyte is really the reason why you get the spitters that you get today when it comes to female rappers. Or not, not just today, but back then. Like, I would say, even though she came afterwards, she actually made Roxanne step her game back up. Like, I feel like Roxanne had hit a plateau at one point and was like, all right, I'm cool. And then when Lyte came out, it was like, oh, nah, this motherfucker here is really spitting. I got to get back into my bag. And so, that's why I got Lyte at number 2.
And again, like I told you, man, I was going back and forth with Lyte, man. Like, even up to we got to this point, I wanted to change and put Lyte in my top 3 because before we got on, I started listening to some of the stuff. I'm like, damn, I should have put her a bit higher. But I got to ride with what I ride with because I felt that, Lyte was the truth, man. I just wish that she would have put together more complete albums, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that she has some good cuts, but as far as like the body of work, it was just something missing with her whole body of work. You know what I mean? So respect to Lyte being at number 2 for you. So my number 1, to me is hands down number 1. No matter who you are, you gotta respect this. And that's Missy Elliott, man. I got Missy Elliott number 1 for several reasons. Number 1, Missy can spit. And it's crazy because I remember when she first came out, when I first heard Missy, I thought she was whack. I could not stand that song. I Can't Stand the Rain. Yeah. Even to this day, I like that song. I thought it just super duper fly. I did not like that. I hated that song. I still hate that song. But as you start seeing Missy grow and you start listening to like what she be spitting, Missy by far probably had the best discography out of all the female rappers. And she was a ghostwriter. And she can sing. And she can produce. So,
and she can write songs. Like she can write songs.
Write songs. So,
I.e. Monica.
Right. Aaliyah. God bless the dead. So you're talking about someone who embodies everything musically in one person, and she was not whack. I thought she got better as time went on with her albums. I thought her albums got much better. To me, that the Real World album, that album was ridiculous back in '99. I played about 4 of them joints in our battle. We did the Timberland and for real battle. I played about 4 of them joints, and I wouldn't play that album.
That's probably why you lost.
Yeah, that's the one you lost because
that's probably why you lost.
I beat you. You conceded on the battle at the end, and I beat you. So.
Stop lying.
When I dropped that joint, I dropped like 3 Aaliyah songs, didn't I? I did a cheat code to you 3 times. So, and Missy wrote all those songs, matter of fact, that I asked you to play. But Missy, in my opinion, she's got to be the #1 female artist because I think if you look at her body of work in comparison to her other sisters, I just think that she had it, man. I think that she had the total package. Her pen was crazy. The energy, she was like a Busta Rhymes mixed with her own style, mixed with everything. Like she captured every single thing, man. So Missy is my go-to.
All right, so again, I said my #1 is a personal choice. Now, is she truly the greatest? Absolutely not. I would, if I go a true great, I would say it would definitely be probably Missy or Light. But my #1, because one, there's so many variables and factors that plays into this. She's Southern. She's to me, she's probably the only Southern female spitter. She didn't talk that, as we were saying earlier, she didn't talk that shit. So it was not about her, getting down on her knees or fucking 5, 6 best friends or R&B dreams and all that shit. Like she was past all that. What she did is she came in and she spit. And when I say she spit, that's what the fuck we mean. Like she really spit. Even though she was with a crew that didn't have too many spitters, she still was able to stand out because she was just naturally a spitter. So my #1, again, personal preference, growing up in the South, especially going to high school in the 90s, like you was not gonna go past me and X. Like that's #1. That's what it is. That's what we doing.
Yo, come on, man.
Man, I got to. Listen, the way Mia actually spits, man, it's crazy, man. Like, and she won't get that love, like I said earlier. Let's go back to what I was saying earlier. She won't get the love, and that's the same way 3D Nati. 3D Nati's from New Orleans also. But when I tell you dope, like she is super dope. When I tell you fucking Rhapsody is super dope, she is super dope. Yeah. But they're not going to get the shine because we live in a different era. So now it's all about how you gonna make shit pop. Yeah, we can laugh all day, but I bet you this. And the comments. Oh, they going in right now. I know it ain't nobody but Tasia and Sky. What I tell you, Tasia and Sky. That's why. And Manny being Manny. We're not gonna worry about it. Manny said, "Hey, we know how Manny feels. Hey, Manny don't even know who Big Boy is. So why are we talking about him? But anyway, so that's why I got me an X #1, man. Listen, music is all about where you was at that time in life. And in the 90s, if you grew up in the 90s and you were in the Carolinas all the way over to Texas, listen, the #1 person you was going to listen to far as a female rapper was going to be Mia X. So I'm going with Mia as my #1. Plain and simple.
That is definitely different. Stacks said, shaking my damn head. Yo,
hey,
what up, Stacks?
What's happening, homie? But so with that top 10, who is somebody that you left off? I know I've spoken a couple times. Who was somebody that you left off that you really didn't want to leave off, but you had to?
Man, I left off Roxanne Shante. It pained me to do that. You know, again, queens get the money, but the reason why I felt like I couldn't go with Roxanne Shante is because I felt that Roxanne had hit a brick wall really fast. There's a reason why she was on Unsung. I think that she never got an opportunity to get to that point where she could have like really bridged things in the hip hop game as a hip hop female artist. I think that she got wrapped up in too much beef. I think because she was a battle rapper, it was good for her, but I think that was also her detriment as well because she got noticed by being a battle rapper and going at the corny ass UTF. I ain't seen me call corny. UTFO. I always thought UTF was corny to me, but
Full Force too.
No, I love Full Force.
I mean, but they wanted the same, aren't they?
I love Full Force. Different though, man. Don't do that, man. Full Force.
But she went at Full Force too. Let's not act like they wasn't.
I know, but that's the thing. She went at so many people, man. She was male or female or everybody, and I think got to a point where they thought it was a gimmick because you had the Roxanne Wars, where everyone had like a Roxanne song, you know, Roxanne Revenge, Roxanne Grandmother, Roxanne Mother. Everyone had like a Roxanne battle back then. Any female you meet up north, they're like, my name is Roxanne. Like, your name is not Roxanne. Your name is like Keisha. What are you talking about? You know, so it was like the Roxanne Wars back then, and she was in the middle of all of that. And I think because a lot of her energy went to battling other rappers, so many times, and just I don't think she ever got an opportunity to put together a good body of work. You know what I mean? I don't think she had a chance to really put together a really good album. Something that was you can sit back and like a Queen Latifah album or something with content like an MC Light album. I don't think she had an opportunity to do that because everything was based on her battling people. Like she was a battle rapper. Battle rappers do not last in the industry like that. They last on the battle circuit, but they don't last in the industry, especially when you go against everybody, you know, at everybody's head. And you don't get a chance to get in a breather because now they're back on your head. And she held her own all day long. But I think that was bad for her career, though, in my opinion.
But it was bad for her career, but it was great for female rappers. And this is why I say it was great for female rappers. Without her sticking her neck out on the line and doing what she was doing at the age of 14, 13 years old, like you don't get. I don't think you get MC Light. I don't think you get Queen Latifah. I don't think you get Salt and Pepper. You don't get people who are really gonna spit lyrics. I think only thing you will end up with is a whole bunch of the Lil Kim's, Cardi B's, and things of that nature. Meg Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
But thanks to her and stepping in that arena, and not just stepping in that arena, like because when she stepped in the arena, she wasn't worried about the women that came before her. Yeah. And she was so great at it that she would make you think like she was the first female rapper. But I think people forget all about, you know, we had fucking the Mercedes ladies. You had who else? Shyrock.
Yeah.
Who else? You know, you had a couple. Old girl that was in Beat Street. You know, all of them came before Roxanne. But Roxanne did it. And she made you respect it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to the point, like, motherfuckers was like, she's out here winning battles, but they can't let her win because she's a woman.
Right.
So, like, that's how feared she really was in that circuit. And that's how feared she was in New York City at the time, man. So, Roxanne Shante, she is the reason that female rappers, not saying that it would have never happened, but it happened to be her. She's the reason that female rappers can be expected to be lyrical and can be expected to step in the arena with the man, and there's no issues.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that, man. I do. I just felt that because she was so fixated on these battles, man, I don't think she ever had an opportunity to get into a different bag. I don't think she had an opportunity to really put together a body of work that we can say, you know what, going back listening to Roxanne Shante, she really had something to say, because everything was just clouded around battle rapping. You know what I mean? And back then, you had to earn your spot. You had to get in the cipher. You had to go against some bulldogs back then. Like you said, even on the Unsung Special, she said to herself that she wished that she would have pulled back a little bit and not go at some of the, you know, the Queen Latifahs, the Yo-Yos and the MC Lights. That she felt like it hurt her at a point where when they start unifying, they left her out. You know what I'm saying? When they started had that movement, they left her out. And I just think it was wasted opportunity, man.
So that's my problem when it comes to females. So when it comes to female, it's expected, oh, everybody got to be united and we got to have one front. Or, you know, you always hear that like, well, why both of them can't be great? They both can be great, but let's not forget, at the end of the day, this is hip hop. Hip hop is a competition sport. It's a contact sport. And what we want to hear is we want to hear y'all getting each other's ass.
Absolutely.
And especially at that time, that's when you had L and Kumo D. You know what I'm saying? That's when you had like people going at fucking Run DMC for no reason whatsoever. Like hey, what's the saying? Heavy is the crown. I mean, heavy is the head that wears the crown. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you got to, in my mind, you got to take that. Like, that's part of hip hop.
But to that argument, those guys you just mentioned, they also drop a good body of work. They also put together good albums, great albums in some respect. You know what I mean? So although they were battle rappers, they still put together a good body of work. I was listening to, again, Queens Get the Money. MC Shan's birthday was yesterday. So I was watching one of the old videos on Left Me Lonely. Remember that joint? The Left Me Lonely joint? I don't got no singing voice, but like back in the day. But
so we're not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe. What you saying?
That, you know what I mean? It was like Shan up into I was like, man, Shan was the man back then. Like, but then when KRS-One came and crushed them, you know, it was like Shan couldn't put together anything after that because he was so fixated on the battles. I share that because even if you go back to Ja Rule and 50 Cent, Ja Rule, people can hate all they want, but you cannot tell me y'all wasn't dancing in the club or Put It On Me came on in the club. You know what I'm saying? Or when Ja was coming out with banger after banger, no matter who was on it, he was killing it. And then with 50 Cent and G Unit and Eminem and Busta Rhymes and Dr. Dre and everyone else crushed him, and he came back out, I thought he came out with some good albums after the fact. But because the momentum was lost, because he was so fixated on the battle itself, he never recovered. Only two artists, in my opinion, recovered after the battle, and that was Nas and Jay. You can probably say Luke because Luke kind of recovered after Dre and Snoop went at him. But I still think that when you put all that emphasis on that emotion in a battle and you don't follow it up with a good album or a great album, I think you get lost. You get lost in translation. And I think that's what happened to Roxanne Shante. She's definitely the trailblazer. Definitely, I would not argue with anyone that put her number one, top five, top three. She's definitely a trailblazer. But I think that a lot of her energy went to battle rapping when it should have been to how can I create a good body of work? And I think that's where we missed out, honestly. That's why she's not talking about a lot in different circles, as she should be.
I mean, she did one thing, I guess. I mean, I'm not appreciative of that one thing, but she did, you know, introduce Nas to the world, kind of, sort of. But that's neither here nor there. Listen, hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. You watched Hip Hop Corner. It's the guy Shawn. It's the guy Dre. You got anything you want to give a party shots to, Shawn?
Yo, we got some engagement out there, man. Anybody got any opinion that they want to share? I know we said hour, but I mean, we got people commenting right now. So, you know what I mean? Anybody want to jump on?
Now, you know what? I'm going to get one of these because these ladies been talking shit tonight. I would get Manny, but, you know, we can't. No one can understand Manny when Manny talks.
Don't do that, man.
I'm going to get one of these ladies up here, and we're going to let them talk their shit since they seem to know so much.
Who want to hop on and get that top five?
Nobody. Who? Come on, Tasia. We got Tasia. We got Melinda. We got Sky. Hey, they are clowning both of us, yo. This is not cool.
Mia, yeah, Mia X. Yeah, anybody can take it at Mia.
No. What they're saying is Salt and Pepper was a wasted point, and Mia could have had that spot.
Salt and Pepper. You know,
so we supposed to be a united front. We supposed to be united against them.
Right.
And here you go.
All right, yo, Tasia, who's your top 5, Tasia?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you Tasia top 5. They say first off, we rank them up. Listen, that's what I'm saying. Everybody want to talk shit, but ain't nobody gonna jump on here.
Jump on, give you a top 5.
Tasia top 5 consists of Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, JT. What's the girl JT from the City Girls, and Trina. That's Tasia's top 5.
Tasia number 1 is Gangsta Boo.
Ah, man, listen, don't disrespect Gangsta Boo like that. See, here you go, man. You always got to run out. That's why I was trying to jump off, because I knew you was going to run out sooner or later.
My bad. I bet Scott likes Lady of Rage. That might be her number 1.
Nah, you know Sky from up top, so you know she fucking with Charlie Baltimore.
Yo, don't do that, man. Charlie,
but Charlie, as you see, she keep calling me big.
Charlie was special, man.
Yeah.
No,
I can't really go with that, man. Charlie was a product of fucking Big and Jay.
Yeah. She was. Jay, so hold up, man. We got about 10, 15 more minutes.
Yeah, we do. I'm waiting. I'm seeing what you got going on.
So here's the thing. I left off the Brat as well.
Facts.
I thought the Brat could have been in the top 10 easily. And for everybody out there commenting, these are our personal top 10 for different reasons.
Facts.
We felt that, again, I don't think the list, me personally, I think this list for me would change week after week. This is not a locked in list for me. At any moment, someone can drop out and I can put them back in. The reason why I felt that Salt and Pepper have to be in there because I thought they were trailblazers. I thought that Salt and Pepper as a duo it probably is the best female duo rap group ever. So I think the Brat would honestly, she could have been in my top 10. It's just that who you knock out at the top 10 if you put the Brat in there. So Dre, was there anybody that you left out that you felt like Tasia crazy, man? There's anybody that you left out that you want to put in there?
Definitely Missy, man. So when I was doing the list, like I love Missy, but I was going with if anyone can see my list is really gritty. And if you know me, you know my favorite rapper is Redman, and I think the list kind of matches a Redman type person. You know what I mean? It's gritty. It's about straight bars. It's not about the song. It's not about them having the better producers. It's not about the radio play. It's just strictly about bars. And that's what I went with. Salt and Pepper, I personally think Salt and Pepper is very, very, very dope. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I told you earlier, I don't have a problem with Salt and Pepper being on anyone's list. Like, even if you want to talk top 10 fucking duos, I wouldn't have a problem with Salt and Pepper being on that just because of what they did and how they was able to create their own lane,
right? Be
a trailblazer. And then on top of that, Spinderella is a fucking genius. Like she will never get that respect, but if you listen to her scratch, you can hear DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Yes. Definitely. Definitely.
So like Spinderella, she completes the group. So that I would never, have a problem with you putting them there. Or even, like I said, if we did top 10 duos, I wouldn't have a problem with you putting them there.
Right. So absolutely.
And then also one more, Trina.
Yeah.
She could get there because of her songs. For me, she can't be there because of her lyrics, but because of the songs that she is able to put together, I wouldn't have a problem with anyone putting Trina in as well.
Yeah. I want to get one of these ladies on because everyone is asking the definition between rapper and artist or singer. And I think that you have to define when you're talking about hip hop itself. Missy is hip hop. If anyone doesn't see that, Missy is legit hip hop to the point where a lot of her albums, she put a big focus on why she go hip hop. Missy is a spitter. It's just the fact that she's very talented when it comes to singing and songwriting. Missy is a complete artist. She just happened to be a rapper that can do it all. They just said Trinity cannot get Tasia or get Sky, get somebody on here, man. Yo.
Hey, I just sent Tasia the link. Tasia, let me know if you go jump on, because I don't think she is.
And she from Florida. And she said
no.
Trinity cannot get there.
Listen, man, I don't know why y'all like arguing with this woman. She's not a hip hop head.
I know, we can tell. Yeah.
She's not a hip hop. Oh, so she's not jumping on. So
of course. Of course.
She's not a hip hop head. But man, yeah, so that's our top 10. I think mine is good. I think Shawn's is very well placed. And I think it's also a personal touch to it. And that's what makes your top 10 your top 10.
Absolutely. Again, man, I think this was a good start off, good set off. We would love to next week. We're not going to share what we're going to do next week, but we do have another segment already planned out for next week for our hip hop side of it. I want to get everybody engaged. I want anyone who wants to come on here and give their own top 10 or give their own views on hip hop. We would love to invite you. So we're putting an invitation out there for anyone. If you got to get your hair did the right way before you want to come on so everybody can see you, we completely understand that. So we want to extend that out to anyone out there. Sky, Tasia, Melinda, Manny, all of y'all out there. So
no, everybody but Manny.
You got to get Manny sometimes, man. You got to get Manny. Because you never know what you're going to get. Manny is good for TV, so you got to get Manny.
Manny being Manny.
So we got to get them out here. The Guys Podcast is on Wednesday. We got that coming up. Urban Stack Show is tomorrow night. If you are a Power fan, please tune in to those guys tomorrow night. You will start seeing some flyers on that tomorrow morning. So if you are a Power fan, please hop on with those guys tomorrow night. They're going to do a good deep dive into their recap, a debrief of the Power episode that we just played last night. And we got some other things around the way. So, Ray, what you got for us, man?
Hey, man, like always, check us out on the Guys Facebook page. Check us out on the Guys YouTube page. Check us out on Zingo TV, channel 199. That's Blackjack TV. Hold on. Hold on. So we finna add somebody to the call just when we was getting off.
Don't come for me, Shawn. Don't do it. Just because you was talking your shit, hair tied and all, I'm gonna come on here just because you was talking your shit.
Who was talking that shit?
Shawn, both of y'all, first of all. But Shawn specifically telling get Tasia on here, get Tasia on here. Okay, I'm here. What's up?
What's your top 5, Tasia?
I just gave them to you. MC Light, Queen Latifah, Roxanne. I said Eve. Eve's style is kind of not my style, but I can give her that she is a good rapper. And then I like Nicki. And Nicki, I just threw Nicki in there because I really do like Nicki. Dre tried me with that whole City Girls, Megas Down. I don't like any of them, to be honest. They're not talented. They're not rappers. They're not anything. They just talk.
Yo, so
what? No, I don't think that. Listen, I'm gonna give Meg Thee Stallion her credit. She actually does spit. No, she is in the same breath of the baby. The baby actually spits if you give him a chance. If you listen to him, like I would challenge anybody to find a verse that came out last year that is just so much better than the baby's verse on Dreamville, where it was him, J. Cole, and Luke. Yeah, the baby actually spits, and I think Meg is in that same rim. She actually spits too.
I don't like Meg. So
and here you go. You got fans talking about some get 'em and shit like that. We finna kick everybody off. Hey, that's the problem. Ladies stick together. Right. If men could do that, we would be better.
But
I mean, Salt and Pepper was a complete throwaway. I could not believe you even took the breath to even say that. Like you
turn your phone sideways, Tasia.
You debated it. You debated it. You wrote it down. Then you researched it to talk about it, and then you still said it on live.
Yo, Tej, we live.
Went through a whole process.
Whoa.
I still said it.
Whoa, hey, we live. What you doing? You know, almost, yo, don't do this. Don't be a man right now. Listen, so you pick Nicki Minaj as your top 5.
I did.
And you pick Queen Latifah as well, right?
I did.
Is she a rapper?
Who, Queen Latifah?
Yes.
Yes.
So how can you say Missy's not a rapper?
Missy's not a rapper. Missy, she's not. Queen Latifah has always come out as a rapper. She's always been. She doesn't.
Does she have a song? Yes.
Not like that.
Yes.
Not like that. She has.
Her last couple albums, she was singing her ass off her last couple albums.
That, but I want to say, for me, Queen Latifah came out as a rapper. I don't feel like Missy, just like you said, I Can't Stand the Rain. That's kind of like one of the first songs that Missy Elliott came out with. That's not her rapping. She was singing rapping. The majority of it.
That whole album is a rap album.
No, it's not.
That album is literally a b-boy album. Like if you listen,
sock it to me.
Yeah,
she's rapping with the brat. She sings the hooks.
She sings
like she said, like she told Angie Martinez and them. She was like, "Y'all ain't gonna be using me to sing on the hook." Like that's just what she was doing that time. And what she do after she did her little singing shit, she went in there. She gave you a couple bars real quick.
But what I'm saying is she came out to me. Missy came out as a full and total artist when she very first came out. She came out.
But you was like 5.
She what?
You was like 5 at that time.
So.
You wouldn't even understand it at that time.
Right.
We were in the grind back then.
But, but you even would say Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill is not a rapper.
No, Lauryn Hill is definitely a rapper first.
She's a rapper first.
She got the popularity from singing, but she's a rapper first. If we go back to the Nappy Heads and the Score, like she is a rapper first.
Yes.
Yes. I don't agree.
This is educate. It's what we here for. We here to help. Okay, so
look. I've already decided that neither one of y'all have good judgment. So you help me is just not it. That's not gonna work.
Dre, hey, get out of here, Dre. Get out of here.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick off.
Now y'all want to kick me off.
It's time for us to wrap up.
Because I done told you about yourself. Now you want to kick me off. I'll leave. Kick me off. Don't worry about it. You better be glad I can't see.
Get out of here. Yo, it's just crazy, man.
Yo, man, this is not cool at all. Like,
yo, this backfired. So
I told you.
You told me, yeah. No more. We were not inviting no one else on. Really, we do enjoy the engagement. Tonight was fun, and like I said, you can catch everything again on Zingo TV, channel 199, Blackjack TV. Go download the app. Make Blackjack TV your favorite. I promise you, no matter what time of the day you put it in a random time, you're going to see the guys, either a podcast, you're going to see the Mervin Stack Show, or you're going to see the Hip Hop Corner, or you're going to see a battle where Shawn was getting dusted, of course. But that's what I do. So it's always there. We appreciate everyone tuning in, and we appreciate all the love. I do have an announcement. So we are having I don't want to use the battle of the sexes, but we're going to have a battle between what the guys think versus what the women think. So Tasia and her fan base out there telling her to get us. Be prepared for that because we're going to put that out there. Stacks is going to battle anybody out there from a guy's perspective point of view. And he's open and willing to go at anybody from a guy's point of view on the topic that we would select. So be looking out for that real soon. And we'll get with y'all on that. So that's my last thing, Dre.
All right. Without further ado, hey man, salute to everybody.
Salute everybody. Thank you. Peace.